say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
All right, ladies and gentlemen, go put those headphones on. All right, welcome to Some Random Guy Speaks. I'm your host, Tony Love, and we're about to get started here in Day Trois. You know, boy, we had a rainstorm to come through here, so I was trying to wait until afterwards because I don't want no problems with no outages, you know what I'm saying? But you know what the topic today is? It's those race hustlers, you know. I said, you know, I wanted to do the Black Klansmen, but I said, you know, with YouTube and you know, certain words they don't like, so I had to change it. So race hustlers will do. So as promised, we're about to get started, you know. So therefore, I welcome you guys to the chat with warm embrace. Yep. Appreciate you. And we're about to dive right into a sensitive topic and things. So let's go ahead and put them up here. Where are my race hustlers? There they are. Let me go ahead and put them up. So we're going to go ahead and put the race hustlers up. Just give me one moment. Yeah, we got to go ahead on and get them on up. Get them up, you know, get them up. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And then we're going to go ahead and put up the race hustlers. Get that thumbnail up. Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm hitting the wrong one. Sorry about that. Yeah, just give me a minute here. Got to get the photos of the race hustlers up here. Did I add this? Okay. I don't think I did. Okay, no problem. But I'm going to add it now, though, so I know where the photo is. I thought I had it queued up, but I did not. But we're going to go ahead and put it up here. Actually, you know what? I forgot to name it. That's okay. That is okay, ladies and gentlemen, you know. We go ahead and put a title there and race hustlers. There we go. That's a lot better. So therefore, I can be able to have easy access to it. There we go. So now, there we are. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so we have it here. Who's the fraud? That's the question. And we about to dive into it. Like I got 9 people in here with 1 like. I appreciate it. Let me see here. And yeah, this is going to be a pretty interesting one, you know. Boy, we got Chris Rock. Yeah, somebody put down here, Chris Rock, you know. I tell you. But No, it's not Chris Rock, and I like Chris Rock though. No, it's not Chris Rock. But some of these people, you guys know. You know what I'm saying? We all know who these people are, and we about to get into it. So there's people about to walk into the building and things. Yeah, we're looking pretty good here. And let me see here. Yep, I got that. Got things. So some of these people, like Roland Martin, Maxine Wicked West Waters, Charlemagne the Fraud, Joy Reid, when she had her hair or wig, whatever the case may be. Look like we have here, that is D.L. Hughley, and we have Roland Martin, Roly Poly Martin. There we go, look like they kind of repeated here with Al Sharpton and Maxine Waters again. And there's many more of them, but due to the constraints of the image, I had to put some of the ones that have been the most boisterous in the so-called Black community. So we're about to dive right into it, ladies and gentlemen, though. This is going to be a pretty good one here. Let me pull up my thing here in my notes, okay? So we're going to go into the term of race hustler. It is a highly charged political, they have here, accusation, right? Used to, for Americans, right? Discourse. It's primarily leveled against civil rights activists, politicians, and public intellectuals or organizations, accusing them of deliberately exploiting racial tension for personal and financial gain. Isn't that something? Media attention or political power. Understanding the term requires looking at how it is used politically, right? Its historical roots and the arguments surrounding it. So here it is. So we have the people up here listed, and I appreciate the likes and stuff. Yep, I had to do a little bit of an upgrade on some stuff, though. So we're about to get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the heavyweights of the world. Clash of the Titans. Are you ready to rumble?
Yep, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We about to get ready to rumble with these fools, Yep, here we go, Going to have to be another TKO. Oh, my goodness, boy. Look at this, though. So, yeah, so here it is. It is what it is. Looking at these people, And, yeah, so I appreciate the likes.
Come on, you guys. Let's give him a like for this channel. It helps the algorithm.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So here it is right here, man. Boy, I tell you. So looking at it, so we're going to go ahead and the usage and core criticisms, right? And that's what we're doing right now. The accusations is most frequently used by people what we call conservatives, right? Commentators, politicians, and some Black public intellectuals, such as Thomas Sowell, Shelby Steele, and Bob Woodson, right? The core criticism behind the label includes financial enhancement, accusing individuals of turning racial grievance into a lucrative business, right? Oh, man. Through media appearance, consulting, right? Book deals, and non-profit fundraising. Wow. We already know that this was going on, but it is what it is, right? Right? Look at this here. So we're talking about grievance, arguing that certain leaders focus strictly on systematic racism to maintain their own political relevance, while ignoring the internal community issues like family structure, crime, or economic self-reliance. Isn't that something? It's the stuff that we all have been saying. They have ignored those issues, and they just always harp on race only. Race is the determining factor. This is their one card, one trick pony. Flip out the race card, knock them out. And that's what they've been used to doing for a long time. Knock them out with this race thing, right? But modern day, 2026, 2025 on down, we've been challenging the so-called racist machine, right? So if we really start to think about it, these individuals, and some of them you see up here on this thumbnail, that were or all are responsible, right, for ignoring the plight and the problems in the Black community. They did this, use race baiting issues, raging out, crashing out, to sit here and tell Blacks and other groups of people that they say the white man has been holding us down. The white man is the problem. The white man is because we can't get ahead. If that was so, shouldn't these race hustlers, they should be a victim of what they're spinning out and what they're accusing that the white man has been doing for everybody else. How is it that these individuals happen to, let's say, gain success and prosperity in America? They said that because of racism, it holds them down. How does these individuals happen to launch out in front? This is the question. Because like we said before, they still ignore, right? Let's go ahead and go down through it again. What do they ignore again? We're talking about the community issues like family, structure, and crime, and economic self-reliance. They're not even teaching accountability and responsibility. All they're saying is that everything has to do with race. And this is the reason why Blacks at the lower class can't get ahead. We challenged that out, and come to find out, it has not been true at all. It's that when people listen to these people, you know, this is why you got the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the Fraud. You know what I'm saying? He's another one, another fraudster, you know. He's been given opportunities to preach and teach about racism. And then they get intellectuals like Thomas Sowell, or I think the one lately was Larry Elders, you know. And Larry Elders held his ground down, you know what I'm saying? I like Larry Elders. He should have been on this on the list with Thomas Sowell, you know. I don't know why, but yeah, he's a Black conservative, Black intellectual as well too. You know, I listen to a lot of his podcast things and stuff like that, but he has a lot to talk about, right? Now, if we're talking about was it a grieved industry? We're talking about prominent figures like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, as well as modern organizers like Black Lives Matters have frequently faced this label, right? Particularly following controversy regarding the management and organizational funds or real estate purchases, right? This is the thing about it, right? So when the critics that, like myself, criticizing these race hustlers because we have nothing tangible, it's all about an ideology to allow or make a certain group of people feel inadequate, right? Feel inferior, always talking about white supremacy. When you say stuff like that, what you're already condemning yourself, because you're saying that whites are more superior than you, right? This is something here that I challenge this type of stuff. And that's what we're going to do right now. You know, the main event is on. And like I said, though, these are the things that they talk about when it comes down to race, instead of talking about family structure, right? We're talking about accountability and responsibility. These things should be encouraged. They still haven't fixed the baby mama drama situation, right? After the Welfare Act, Lyndon B. Johnson, the Great Society, right? 1965, they pushed the Welfare Act. This right here have crippled that's why I call it a so-called Black community. It's not a Black community anymore. You can't have a mother and children without a father in the home. When you don't have the complete gambit, look what ended up happening, right? And what ended up happening is simply this. We have what we call victimhood, shame and blame, right? The need to be right. And look at it. When you have a single mother striving, she got to go to work, the children there, they get into trouble. This has already been talked about, even from professionals, right? And this is, I've grown up. We know what it was like. Not many of you haven't had a father in the home, right? And when the kids, what they're going to do, they're going to go out here and roam. They're going to get in trouble. They're going to join a gang. They're going to sell dope. They're going to do all these other things. So it's fractured our community. And these so-called fraudsters, these race baiting, these so-called black and all the rest of it, black this, black that, they ignore the family value structure, education, right? They ignore these principles. And this is why we're in this situation now, right? The so-called black community is on fire. It's burning. It's been burning for a long time. It's like being on a Titanic or something, big ship out at sea that's on fire. And people that can afford, or people that have the opportunity to get off that darn boat and get to a lifeboat and try to swim ashore for like safety, that's what they're doing. Nobody's going to stick around when the house is on fire and you just study burning, because if you stay there, you're going to burn up or drown. And that's exactly what's happening. We got generation after generation after generation, right? We're looking at, 4 generations, right? From the baby boomers all the way up to Gen Z. Now we got Gen Alpha coming into view, right? And then what do we have? What type of legacy are we going to leave the next generation? We haven't even fixed the generations before that came, some of us before, or in this case, after us. We haven't been able to fix anything. That's why they call it Generation X, because it was undetermined if we were going to even make it or not. That's where the situation is, right? And I'm going to address some of the comments and stuff. Just give me some time here. If my mods are here, I'm going to give a shout out right now. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate my mods. Appreciate other people returning to the chat as well. So yeah, so this is the thing, right? We should be talking about fixing the issues. We have so many problems in the so-called black community. Instead of worrying about racism, the white man, and all the rest of this nonsense, right? We got problems here that should be addressed and fixed. And I have not seen these so-called race hustlers, right, address these issues. They will not address these issues. You know why? Because once again, right, misery this is a payday. This is a pay window. The more misery, the more they get paid. The more despair in the so-called black community, these individuals get paid, right? Every single time there's an issue involving a non-black person, and when a black person come to their demise, here they are slithering out their hole. They'll go there to these events, give a speech. They say, damn, I don't remember even inviting this dude. He shows up. They give a pretty speech, collect the money, right? I'm talking about for themselves. And then they hightail it right on out of there. And this is how it's been going on for a long time, right? These are the things that they have been doing, right? Nobody have to make no lies on these people. And the only people, when they send their foot soldiers and so forth, that try to push back on this stuff, because you're talking about messing with the money. It ain't got nothing to do with them loving black folk, because we know they don't. Because if they did, we would see family issues resolved, right? We're talking about safety in the communities, not gang activity and violence and drugs. If they really care, we wouldn't even have this type of issues, right? But since they don't care, see, they have turned this whole thing into a money-making opportunity for them. They never have any solutions. It's always the blame game, right? In their case, whenever something happened, they blame the white man, say racism. They keep getting the check. Keep getting the check. And at some point, blacks and others are going to have to start waking up and stop being afraid and stop being scared of being called, I've been called, man, I'm still here. How does that, being afraid instead of standing up and being a man and woman and doing what's right? You know yourself, black and other, you know yourself that this isn't right. These individuals, we can go on, I already pulled up their finances. I know how much these people are making. When they go out here and do these speak events and all that, they get paid for it. They're getting paid everywhere around, right? They don't speak unless they're getting paid for it. If you really cared about your community, you would be speaking. It would be something as a passion. It should be of urgency to fix our broken community. And that's what a lot of them don't do. We in this situation here. Look at what's going on. How does something like this happen? You mean to tell me that any of these so-called black leaders, any one of these so-called race hustlers, it's all so-called, because it's not true. You know, it's not true. You got to remember, we have enemies in our ranks. This is why we always have this old saying, all skin folk are not kinfolk. And that's a fact. We see the modern day sellouts, right? Which is ones that you see up here on this thumbnail and many more. Just because they're not up there don't mean that they're not. They are. They're all part of the problem. Because if they weren't part of the problem, then they would be addressing these issues. They never talk about family, as I said before. They never talk about what is going on in the community, fixing and serving the community. They don't serve the community, they serve themselves. And they just look at each and every one of us as a slave. They'll never have to tell it up front on the news media and all that. Their actions are showing that. I don't care about what they're saying. I'm looking at what they're doing. They're not doing what they claiming that they say they love black folks and all this. If you really love black folk, we shouldn't have gang activity. If you really love black folk, we shouldn't have drugs in our community. The inner cities should look like the suburbs, right? Champion for single parenting with these mothers and no fathers in the home. These are the problems. 72% of black women are single with children, no man in the house, multiple fathers and so forth. This is a major issue. You can't have a thriving, positive community when you got this going on. That's why I challenge these clowns. The retort is, right, what they talking about racism, they are a part of the racism. They are a part of it. And the left, when we talk about Jim Crow, was created on the left, right? Talking about Dems and all the rest of the stuff. Left-leaning failed policies done on purpose to keep a particular group in their back pocket. This is one of the reasons that the Democrats don't have to do anything else, because they know from black birth they're going to be a Democrat. And most of the time they'll die being a Democrat. Christianity and Democrats, two that black folk love in the so-called black community. Am I lying or am I flying, right? I don't never hold a party allegiance unless if the parties line up to what it is that I believe in. But I'm not going to be a Democrat by default without looking at the policies. And that's the same for everything else. Republican, Democrat, I would go in there and I look, right? When you see me rah-rah so much on Republicans and all the rest of this stuff, because I have looked at the policies. The left, I look at what you think is a policy. They care more about the LGBTQ community. They don't even realize, I'm talking about the so-called blacks and so forth, right? They don't even realize that the political party from the left does not serve them. They are already leapfrog. LGBTQ, perfect example, right? They have more protection, more set-aside programs and other things for them, as opposed to the people originally that was rah-rah for the Democrats for a very long time. One of the oldest groups was blacks that jumped on board on that party. And look at what ended up happening. The party itself have turned their backs on them. Talking about these so-called blacks that's claiming to be Democrat and all this other stuff. And then look at it. They have their leaders to push this nonsense. None of them have they just talk. They have no substance. They have nothing to obtain. It's not tangible. What I mean, you just speaking. We ain't talking about, we're talking about action. You have to be a doer, shower, provide something for us that we can, let's say, munch down or our teeth can seek in. It's a nothing burger. I'm over here eating an invisible burger. It looks good talking about it, but when it come down to eating it, it's nothing there. I mean, when you really think about it though, I mean, can you buy a car that's not there? Could you live in a fictitious house that's not there? Sound good. Yeah, we're going to get this house and it's going to be a 4-bedroom and it's going to have all the things though. You just wait and see. You just wait and see. And you be thinking like, when am I going to get my house? It's coming. We're going to get your house. We're going to get you a house. You're going to have a car. How long they been promising this stuff? And I'm using this example just like when it come down to the reparations. They do the same thing. You do realize that they're never going to give blacks reparations because the people and many people that you see on the thumbnail is gatekeeping and blocking it. That's why you don't get it. You don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to say this once again. If they did not allow or they didn't put a halt on reparations, their job would be over. They know well aware of what they're doing. Do you think that these so-called phony black fraudster leaders, race hustlers and everything, do you absolutely think that they're going to give you reparations? Because they'll be out of a job. They wouldn't be able to do speaking engagements no more. They wouldn't be able to tour the world. They wouldn't be talking about, yeah, we got some problems here, the black community, the white man holding us down. They already know that the charade is up. We already said the black grift is over. We already said that. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. Even with the politicians, redistricting, we already talked about this stuff. There's no more gerrymandering in these southern states, so what they got to do, right? It's steady falling down, crumbling in. If Trump's sending these National Guards in these other cities, what you think going to happen? It's going to be one of two things. Nobody has the power to fight against the military, talking about I'm a blood, I'm a Crip, I'm this and that, Paru. It ain't going to happen, right? And we already seen that from history already. With D.C., Memphis, one of the worst cities, one of the most dangerous cities. Detroit, where I am, one of the most dangerous cities. There's a Chicago, South Side, right? One of the most dangerous cities, you know, Old Block and all these other, some of the most dangerous cities in America. But what we're seeing is at least policies are coming to some of these cities and making changes. And it ain't going to just stop there by getting rid of crime, but there's going to be other opportunity with jobs and tech. This is the things that these so-called black race hustlers could have been providing, but they did not. They all lockstep and everything, talking about how it's rough and tough for blacks when it wasn't rough and tough for them. Maxine Ward is living in a $4.4 million home. She ain't the only one. Al Sharpton, all of them living great. Charlemagne the fraud, sorry about that. Charlemagne the fraud, is living very, very well. These guys are living very deliciously. They don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about where you come from. That's just all when the cameras are rolling. When the cameras cut, let me get up on out of here. Get away from these ninjas. And that's exactly what it is. Because if it wasn't that, then we would see improvement in our neighborhoods and our communities. You will never see improvement, right? In the neighborhoods and in communities. They got a bill, right? I told you about this before. HR 40, a study of reparations. That's about the farthest it's going to be. Huh? You can go and look it up. Google it. You can look it up for yourself. HR 40. It's been around for over 40 years. Go and check it out. Thinking out, there it is. These people do not care about you. You have to care about yourself. And you can't keep continuously leaning on some leader when you're supposed to be leading yourself. I don't rely on a leader, let alone a so-called black leader. I lead myself, right? That's exactly what we're designed. I got a brain between my ears. I can determine who I want to listen to. I don't just get high off of a pretty speech. If it's not anything tangible that I can sink my teeth in, right, and chomp on, I don't want to have nothing to do with it. These are what we call snake oil salesmen. And they've been doing this, once again, for a very long time. But, you know, like I said before, you got this thing called black code that these blacks try to operate on. And black code is not helping the so-called black community. It's killing it. Because what is supposed to be the code, right? I'm off code, right? And they know it. Code is never supposed to talk about these things. Never talk about the so-called black leaders. Never talk about the plight and problems, especially outside of the black community. That's what we mean by black code. And many of them operate on black code. They teach their others on black code, right? It's when you're a code breaker, this is when they call it a problem. This is when we can start hearing the word coons, sellout, Sambo, Uncle Ruckus. Translation, he's a code breaker, right? You're supposed to stay on code, not talk about the problems. Give these brothers and sisters a pass. Let them get their bag. If it's about grifting, let it happen. Never criticize, never come out outright, right? But look what's going on. There's a lot of code breakers out there now. There's several out there that's been coming out there. Yeah, when we talked about April, what's her last name? I showed you, I did a reaction video. Not really a reaction, but kind of agreeing a lot for what she was even saying. You know, she's a black conservative female, right? And there's many more of them out there. But this is where the problem, right? They're upset with us and a lot of black conservatives. They forget that a lot of these black conservatives today all came from the Democratic side, liberal side, right? They weren't just born a conservative like that. A lot of us were actually liberal before we became conservative. Facts, right? The question should be, why are the blacks leaving the left and joining on to the right? Right? That should be the question. And when those questions are answered, you should be trying to investigate, try to look into why are these black conservatives becoming black conservatives instead of just throwing name calling and so forth, right? That's ignorant, because you want to try to hold down the left. The left is actually, again, has a major, I got problems with the left when it come down to the destruction of my community. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And that's fair to have that. We don't have anything, only but these black individuals that have come to prominence off of black misery. And that's exactly what it is. This is why I said I'm going to go ahead and do this a little bit more in depth. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly what it is, right? So some of the things that they do with these black race hustlers, they love to deflect, right? Again, they ask a question with a question. We go ahead and go in further. Opponents of a view argument and the terms is used to shift focus away from structural barriers such as wealth gaps, housing inadequacies, right? Or voting right challenges by making the conversation about character and about individual leadership, right? This is what it is. It's a double standard. Critics of the term point out that the leaders of other political, economic, or environmental interest groups are rarely labeled as hustlers for raising money and building their careers around their advocate. Hold on for a minute. Let me just make sure, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I got so much stuff here. Let me just make sure here. Whoops, hold on for a minute. That's
Interest.
wrong. No, not interest. Hold on for a minute. I hit the wrong one. Give me one moment. You know what I'm saying? I think I know the word, but I just want to.
Advocacy.
Yeah, I thought so. So, yeah, advocacy, right? That's why I love a Mac. right? Historical normacy, right? Activism has always required institutional funding, media outreach, and visible figureheads, right? Defending civil rights, right? Cause naturally requires structural organizing, which opponents often, right, mischaracterize as a purely financial racket. This is exactly what it is. This is what's been going on, right? You know, you used to have back in the days, you used to have a lot of conservative radio talk. Now we don't have any of them now, right? You know what I'm saying? Let me see here, talking about this and that. Let me see here. All right, so the pre-1990s, internal ideologies, debates, early civil rights pushbacks, early black press debates, traditional civil rights figures, right? 1990s to 2000s, there was talk, radio talk, Fox News, cable television, monetization. Then you had Al Sharpton. Back then you had Jesse Jackson. I would say localized racial controversies, right? These are the things. The 2010s to present, a lot of it has to do with social media, algorithms, independent commentaries, nonprofit corporate funding with things like BLM leadership, right? Divesting, right? Diversifying, or diversity, consultants and progressive politicians. So this is the things, though. We're talking about the terms of evolution, what they've been doing. So we know that a lot of it now is with social media, algorithms and so forth, right? What this so-called black leadership, bourgeoisie or whatever, they want to always keep the focus about black disadvantage. Blacks do not have, we're down with the voting thing. They just do not have, we got the wealth gap, right? Instead of fixing the wealth gap, they always use it, and the problem with them, they say, is racism. Racism is the problem, right, while we have a wealth gap disparity. Racism is the problem that more blacks are not in college. Racism, right, is one of the problems, again, why blacks don't have more black businesses. Racism, right? This is what they do. And people are getting tired of it and fed up with it, because many people know that that is not to be true. If I would have been white right now saying this, they would have tried to have my behind. They would call me a racist and everything and all this other kind of stuff. I ain't saying one thing that's racist. What I'm saying is I'm pointing out who the racists are. And like I said earlier, we always had an old saying, everyone that's skin folk is not kinfolk. Just because they share a hue with some of us doesn't necessarily mean that they're on our side. These are enemies of the so-called black community, and they are enemies of America, right? All they know to do is to enrich themselves, and they have been doing that off of black misery. And at some point in time, for some of these blacks that's in this room and others, you're going to have to come to some type of acceptance of the words of what I'm saying, because I don't see any of your lives getting better, right? And you want to sit up here and call it race, or could it just be that you've been duped to think that it is race, as opposed to getting out here and working hard or working smart and really getting up here and doing the work to better yourself? You don't never hear them speak like that. Oh, no, the reason why your credit is bad is because of racism. Oh, the reason that you can't get a house is racism. They always use that stick all the time, knowing that that's not the truth. I know many blacks that have actually obtained and owned their homes, obtaining wealth. And again, there ain't been no racism telling me I couldn't do that. Let's knock it off, right? But we understand, like your Al Sharptons, Roly-Poly Martin, and all the rest of them, they're going to say this, right? Because they want to keep the so-called black community in a permanent victim class, underclass, right? Therefore, they can always grift off of it for the rest of their lives. This is exactly what they have been doing. We got generation after generation still believing this nonsense. Still believing, oh yeah, still believing. still believing, and they don't have no answer for the blacks that have achieved. Blacks that live in, I know people that live in beautiful homes, right? Big, beautiful homes, right? And when you ask them how did they do it, got their education, I got family members, scholastics and all that, right? Doctors and everything else, right? They did it. They did it. They obtained their degree, right? They have done it. And the same thing could be for you or anyone else. I don't see what's holding up. I don't see what's holding you back. The only people I can see holding you back are the people that you're seeing right now. The people that you are looking at visibly right now, these are the people, and many others are holding you back. Ricky Smiley should have been up there on that thing too, but I didn't have enough room. They, you know, with AI, they don't get stuff right. The two people there, what's his name? Jim Clyburn should have been up there, and Ricky Smiley should have been up there too. But you know how AI is, man. They don't get it right. Oh my goodness. But other than that, though, but see, yeah, and that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. These people right here, this is, and there's many more of them. They are the ones claiming that they are the vanguards of the so-called black community. You got Charlemagne the Fraud, though, Breakfast Club, right? Buffoon Club, right? BLT, or I'm not sorry, BT, BET, right? Buffoon Entertainment Network, right? You have another one. So you get these type of people over here. And another thing I'm gonna talk about too is these so-called liberals, right? The liberal whites ain't no damn better than these race hustlers right here. These liberal whites, you know, that we're talking about, because if you go back and look, they have a history of doing this type of stuff. Liberal whites is no match for black conservatives, because you know why? Because once again, it blows out their narrative, right? This is the thing. It blows out their narrative. You know, see, if I was up over here talking about I'm living in the ghetto, living in the hood, and all the rest of this stuff, see, it feeds into their narrative. But you can't measure everybody black like that. I know some black folks that ain't never been in the hood in their life, and they come from a structured home. Where are these hypocrite liberal whites at? They know the problems in the community, but they want to go here and be a content creator, warrior, and all this other kind of crap and stuff. This whole BLN crap and all the rest of this stuff. And guess who was behind that too? People you see down there. I ain't never seen the BLM come into the hood. We got problems every day, black on black every day. Got to be a black and white issue. Can't be a black on black issue. It destroys their narrative. And they know it. This is what we call, they're hypocrites too. A lot of your white liberal hypocrites. I've been called them out on this stuff. They don't have an answer for it. Right? Look at BLM. And then the fraud behind BLM and things, man. You know, you got Patrice Cullors or whatever she goes by, and two others, right? Embezzlement, millions of dollars missing and gone, having lavish parties and all the rest of this stuff. The whole BLM was a sham from the beginning, right? Soros backed it. It was phony from the beginning. And that's why they don't have nothing for me. They really don't. They don't have anything. They don't have anything. Once again, you know, we weren't going to say it, you know. You know what I'm saying? They got those rubber band legs, because he's getting hit very, very hard. I'm like Mike Tyson hitting him. Pretty soon they're about to kiss the canvas in a minute. You know what I'm saying? They're about to kiss the canvas. So any of you white liberals who want to sit up in here and try to discredit what I'm saying, you're going to have a very, very hard time doing it, because these so-called black communities that you don't come into, you don't say, oh yes, it's the weekend, I'm gonna go in here and go to Tyrone's Chicken Waffle. You're not going in the hood to do that. Knock it off. You're not shopping in the hood. You're not going in and visiting nobody in the hood, let alone living next door, right? So knock it off. You're a hypocrite. That's why I call them out. Just be real and just be consistent. You in the suburbs, you ain't about that life. You never had to deal with gang violence, right? Homicides, ambulance, you hear the sirens going off, right? Shootouts and gunfire, gunplay. Knock it off. You know you ain't about that life. So don't act like you care about black folk now. That's why I see these hypocrite liberals that come up in here, and some of them are routine. You know, they get butthurt, they get upset because the words of truth that I'm saying is triggering to them. That's what it is. They have nothing for me. They never do. They always want to ask, you know, when they ask the question, it's a deflection tool instead of dealing with what we're talking about here. And then they would try to change the goalposts, right? I'm hip to all of their tricks. That's why I shut them down. I don't have to answer no questions to them at all. You're going to deal with what we're talking about here or get out. It's just that simple, right? Who are you? This at last I looked at, this is Tony Love's show. Who are you? If you don't like what I'm saying, why don't you go ahead on and build your own show? Get your followers up and you go and get your own show. But don't come in here giving demands. You know what I'm saying? You don't have those type of privileges. And so for some of them in here, you lucky that you guys are still here. If this was a real echo chamber, you guys would be gone a long time ago. I know what echo chambers are like, and that's coming from mostly on the left. The left can't stand this type of pushback. I get kicked out of the rooms all the time, bringing up points and questions in these inner cities. They don't want to hear that type of stuff. It defeats their narrative. I know what's going on, and they know what's going on, right? That's the problem. All they want is rah-rah people that's agreeing with them instead of looking at the problems. This been around long before Trump. And you're not going to do you're not going to do any of this black code stuff. You're not going to do any of it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to stick to the topic of what I'm talking about. Brian Reedy, I want you to get, because you know he's not supposed to be in my room. Hold on for a minute. Because he's been very disrespectful the last time. And as I said before, when you disrespect the host, you're going to go. You don't stick around and stay around. I want you to get at WOL, V as in Victor, RAZA. Get him out of here. He's not. He knows he's not supposed to be in this room. He's permanently banned. I want this guy out of here right now. And I'm going to do some things behind the scenes to make sure he don't never come back, right? That's what I'm going to do because the stuff, this is what I'm saying. I want him out of here. Let me see here. Who else? Get him out of there right now. Let me see here. You know, I can put up with some things, but this guy here never have any type of, you know what I'm saying? Morpheus 1, I remember you before. And like I said, the rules are you're going to deal with my topic. You're not going to change the goalposts, right? Because I'm going to make some example. I'm going to make some of you guys, and, oh yeah, Black Guy 9 is in the house. I appreciate it. Hey, Morpheus, if you scroll one more, if you you know what I'm saying, spam one more time, you're going to be out of here too, my friend. I'm not messing around with y'all today. I got times when I'm going to mess around. But I permanently ban you if you keep it up. You're going to either adhere to what I have to say, or you can get out, or you can be kicked out. That's the thing. That's how that roll, right? That's exactly how that go. Because other than that, this ain't your channel. You're going to adhere to my topics. Shout out to Black Guy 9 and Brian Reedy. I appreciate you guys. And my mods are instructed to shoot down anyone coming up in here being disrespectful. It's not fair for the people in this room, and it's definitely not fair for me, right? You done already had your opportunity, right? You're going to get on topic, right? And talk about what we're talking about here, right? If this don't apply to you, if it don't apply, let it fly. If it don't apply, let it fly. For people that are impacted in the ghetto, right? This should be a topic that's near and dear to your heart. This is what it's about. Not these other guys, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing about it, you know? So when guys like Morpheus 1 that try to come up in here and want to use these things about how American first, he said, is a white supremacy trope. This is a deflection tool because he doesn't have anything when it comes down to the black leaders that have been grifting for a long time. And he's more of the problem. These individuals are more of the problem that we're dealing with, right? These guys are the problem. And he think he can come in here and go slick and loose when we're talking about real issues. And Morpheus, I know you're a brother. Brother, you should be just as outraged. I know you're a brother. Ain't no damn, ain't too many Morpheuses I know that's white. I could tell by his style to type. He's a brother. I known this when he was in the room before, right? And you would think that they would have a more caring interest in their own black community instead of trying to push and change the goalposts. That's what he was doing. So when they want to bring up this stuff, oh, so-and-so is a trope for white supremacy, that means that I'm kicking their ass on this topic. And they don't have nothing for it. That's why they get the cussing and carrying on. That's why the one guy is banned. He's not allowed in here. Every time I see his name come up, he's going to get banned. That's exactly what it is. Right? We're going to deal with real topics that impact these so-called black communities. That's what we're talking about here today. Right? What's so hard about that? You got to be on black code protecting these people when you ain't getting anything? That don't make any sense. That's stupid. That's stupid. They've been promising you this, promising you that, and you can't even get anything, right? Let me see. B. Jones says, could you add a few more? You mean on the list? You talking about on this? I can't, because I'll run out. I'm gonna try to get more on here the next time, but they're not the only ones. Like I was telling earlier, B. Jones, when you see Al Sharpton and Maxine Waters twice, AI don't get stuff right. Instead of that, they should have put others on here. Ricky Smiley, they leaving out. I do the entertainers. You know what I'm saying? I do other people too. There's a list of them, but I'll run out. You know what I'm saying? But they messed up right there. I'm gonna try to fix it though. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, Karen Bass, she needs to be on here. Karen Bass should be on here. I'm in agreement with you, Goofy. Yeah, you could have added Mayor of the LA. Yeah, Karen Bass. You're absolutely right. Whoopi Goldberg, she should have been on here. So I'm gonna fix this and do an update on this and things. Matter of fact, let me see if I can try it one more time. Just give me one moment. I'm gonna see what I can do. Yeah, you're right. Whoopi Goldberg, she should have been on the list, right? Whoopi should have been on that list. She serves not the community, only herself. Let me see here. Hold on for a minute. Let me see if I can fix it. You're absolutely right. And I stand corrected. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so they should be on the list. And I'm gonna see what I can do here real quick while I'm talking at the same time. Let me see here. Yeah, because we got to get this stuff out, man. They have been grifting off of the so-called black community for a long time. And we have had enough of their shenanigans, their lies, and the fraud, right? That's the thing about it. Let me see here. Whoopi. Let me see. Goldberg. And Karen Bass. Okay. By the way, she's a Democrat socialist. I already did that one earlier. A lot of your Democrat socialists, they hate America. We're talking about the far left, right? The alt left, right? The politically dangerous, violent left, right? I'm talking about far left. They make regular left liberals. They make them look like saints. They really do. We already talked about, and I may revisit that as well too. Instead of addressing the problem, they come in this room, want to try to change the goalposts around or deflect instead of talking about what we talking about. And the one guy, you look at his photo, he's some old white liberal that's butthurt. He know he ain't supposed to be in this room. And every time he shows up, I want y'all mods to kick him out of there, man. Have at it. Even if I got to do it myself if y'all not around. But yeah, Either way, he know he's not supposed to be in this room, right? You know, so he supposed to be over here telling black folk and things about this, talking about everything but what the issues of what we really are talking about. You know, notice that he wasn't doing that. Oh my goodness. Let me see here, Al Sharpton, and let me see here. Oops, almost finished here. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Oh man. Shit, I'm a lover of the black, so the so-called black community. I come out of the black community, but I want us better, and I believe that we can do better, right? But we can't do any better until we give this victimhood stuff up. You know, we gonna get out. I gotta get out here and get it. I go out here and work too. Get out here and get it. Let's see here. Did I mess up? Hold on for a minute. I think I did. Damn it. I think I did. I got to do the image. Yeah, boy. All right, guys. I'm going to try to have at this one more time, man. I think I forgot to add something here. Okay. Let's see here. All right, let's go ahead and try this now. Okay, this particular one is not doing it. Okay. It's not doing it. Hold on for a minute. Let me try something else here. And you know, the things with some of these AIs, they won't do it because they're afraid of a lawsuit. That's what I think. They want you, and this is one of the main reasons why I don't even use, there's certain AIs I just do not do at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I could be afraid of a lawsuit because what I'm even saying is spot on. You know what I'm saying? I can confidently call these people out for the fraud they really are. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They know they ain't done nothing. Oh man. All right. And Karen Bass. All right. I'm going to try this other one here. Let me see here. Let's try this. Just give me one moment, guys, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I'll go ahead and do this again. Create this. Yeah, because y'all see where it has created them twice. And I said, man, there's a lot of photos out there, Ricky Smiley and all the rest of them. I said, come on now. Yeah, it ain't doing it. Okay, I'm going to just let it go, though. It's not doing it. You know, with AI, it's not going to get it always right. And I deal with it some other time, though, you know. No pressure to add more. That AI can get, wonky sometimes. You're right. This is a great list. Yeah, you're right, because I can actually call them out. Why not? I can call them out, B. Jones, but I can call them out. What should have also been added on the list, I mean, we got the main ones, right? Al Sharpton, Roly-Poly Martin, James Clyburn, Maxine Waters, Brandon Johnson, right? Tamala Mallory. We got Charlemagne the Fraud, Joyless Reed, I call her, Ricky Smiley, D.L. Hughley, Whoopi Goldturd is what I call her, though, you know what I'm saying? Don't do anything. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't big up these people and celebrities. You shouldn't, because they don't give a damn about you at all, though. You know, they're out here for the bag for themselves. You know, I mean, as they should be, really. You know what I'm saying? But don't go over here pointing your finger and talking about, oh, someone trying to oppress us when you weren't oppressed. You the one that's been in Hollywood. You the ones that got millions of dollars living in $1 million home, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? They got their bag. How are they going to sit up here and tell us that we are victims of racism when it didn't happen to them? That's what I've been talking the whole time. How did they make this? Make it make sense. Whoopi Goldturd, what's the other one? Summer Hastings or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's another one on The View. They're all the millionaires. What the hell are they talking about? All the people we're talking about right here are millionaires. Not one of them is, I think the only one that may not be a millionaire is James Clyburn. I think he's like the low end one, but the rest of them, they're millionaires. You know what I'm saying? We already talked about it. James Clyburn, right? In South Carolina, the poorest district in South Carolina, right? Look at it. Underserved communities, once again, disenfranchisement, dilapidated neighborhoods and so forth. If they really cared, then why is it that they have this issue going on? If they care so damn much, right? And that's what Morpheus one and all these other guys that come in here, right? You know, instead of sticking to the topic. Okay, it look like that's my time. I said I'm gonna start shortening them down for this live. So I'm gonna say a few more things. Sonny, oh yeah, Halston, yeah, thank you. Yep, thank you, Travis, and things. Yeah, Sonny Halston. You know, that's exactly what it is. You know, they are all millionaires. Not one of them addressed the family issues that I was talking about earlier. They have not addressed the single black woman with children, 72% in climbing, right? What about the gang violence for the longest time, right? This is the thing. Drive-by shootings, dope, right? All this stuff goes on in these communities. That's why I call the white liberals out easy, because they're hypocrites, because they haven't went in there. BLM have not went into these inner cities. They deal with issues, high-profile issues for the bag. We know this, you know? We know this. Let me see if Travis says, bye, my guy. Yeah, okay. You take care of Travis, man. I'll see you next time. I see you in here before, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, and Snuffle says, don't forget about the Somalis. You're absolutely right. Don Lemon, you're right. Don Lemon is another one. You know, that's what they do. They use the fear tactics in the so-called black community. Just like with this voting thing. You ain't going to be allowed to vote for your favorite black politician anymore. You know we died trying to vote. No, we didn't die trying to vote. This thing called the 15th Amendment. Because at the time, women weren't even allowed to vote back then in the 1800s. Many of us have ancestors that lived in that era, right, where they were allowed to vote. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I tell you, man, let me see here. Earth Angel says all of them are sellout Freemasons. Yeah, you could be absolutely right. I don't know what type of, who they align themselves with, Freemasonry, some of them could. You know, but we know this. Whatever they salute to, they're not doing anything in the so-called black community that many of them came from. That's the thing about it. Many of them came from this. So the thing about it is simply this, though, ladies and gentlemen. What I talked about, and let me see here. We talked about these people and things like that. See here. Oh yeah, wait a moment. Okay, my notes here. Yeah, okay, here it is. So once again, right? We're talking about the usage, right? And core criticism that a lot of us have on these so-called fraudsters that you see, and these so-called race hustlers, right? Race baiters, right? Financial enhancement. That's what they're getting and doing. Here it is. Accusing individuals of turning racial grievance into a lucrative business, right? Through media appearance, counseling, book deals, and nonprofit fundraisers. Perpetuating grievance, right? Grievance. Arguing that certain leaders focus strictly on systematic racism to maintain their own political relevance while ignoring internal community issues, like I said again, family structure, crime, economic self-reliance. These are the cornerstones of a thriving, healthy community, not racism. Because if that would be the case, what about the Asian community, Indian community, Arab community, and many others? They all have thriving, healthy communities off of these core principles that you actually heard me read. It doesn't fit their narrative. They're trying to create this victimhood stuff to keep black folks down in despair so that way they can keep getting their bag. They get paid. Keep these blacks on the democratic slave plantation forever. It's modern day Django. They want to say that America is this candy land, right? And this is basically what they're trying to say. And then anybody that speaks out and want to call the truth, then they're going to try to reverse it. Want to call me Uncle Ruckus and all this stuff. The Uncle Ruckus are these people. These are your sellouts right here, right? This is exactly what it is. These people that y'all see, and Whoopi Goldberg should be up here. Sunny Halston should be up here. With the mayor in L.A., you know what I'm saying? She should be up there. Karen Bass, she should be up here as well, too. They don't care nothing. She's not even American anyway. Huh. Boy, I tell you. Boy, man, it's just so sad. You know? We also have, we already know Somalis don't even consider themselves black. They already said it. Ilhan Umar is out for herself and her own people. Look at all the fraud going on over there, all the fraud. But like I said, the only time they can come in here, right? They can come in here. They try to move the goalposts, as I said earlier, trying to deflect, right? Or deflect is what they're trying to do. But you're not going to do it. See, this is, once again, race hustlers, right? That's exactly what we're talking about here. And there's so many more lists. You may as well put Umar Johnson on there for some. And some of the people don't even know who he is. White and other don't even know who this guy is. He's not as big as he think he is. It's only in the inner black community that people know who Umar Johnson is. Everybody don't know who this guy is. That's why I didn't put him on here. They don't know who he is. Everybody know who Farrakhan is, but they don't know who Umar Johnson is. Yep. And I appreciate you guys to listen to what Black Guy 9 said. Hit that like button, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All gifts are welcome, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. All right.
Come on, you guys. Let's give him a like for this channel. It helps the algorithm.
It sure does. And I appreciate it. Yeah. But that's what it is. Right? This is what we're looking at here, And we can't be afraid to call this nonsense out. We've been calling it out. We've been calling this out. Boy, I tell you. But you got bots that come in here and other things. But the main thing is that we're all staying on topic with this thing. You said Don Lemon too. Don Lemon is out for himself, just like many of them is out for themselves, man. Big Mike, that's what Black Guy 9 says. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But yeah, Snuffle says Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby and things like that. Well, I know what you're saying about it, but Goofy said, you have a lot of common sense, my brother. I appreciate it. Thank you. We want to bring common sense and critical thinking back, man. We have to get it. We got to call out the BS. You're right about that, B. Jones. I'm kind of catching up right now. I'm kind of moving this thing backwards for the comments. So, yeah. So, Mr. Snuffle says, make me a mod and I will lay waste to the trolls. I'm gonna have to look into. I'm gonna look into that though. Snuffles making you a mod, man. You know what I'm saying? I like what you're saying as well. I like what B. Jones is saying. I like what Travis was saying. Let's see here. Black Guy 9 said LeBron James. Yeah, that's basically what it is. LeBron James. They put these athletes in our face. You know what I'm saying? He want to play the victim, talking about racism and black folk and everything like that. Yeah, you're right about that, Brian Reedy. Pearson, you talking about Justin Pearson? He lost he was trying to be a representative over there in Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The guy with the afro that want to, basically to cosplay, trying to be the next Jesse Jackson and stuff like that. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. Jumping around, bumping around, acting like a fool. You know what I'm saying? Yep, I know exactly who you're talking about. You're talking about Justin Pearson. Mm-hmm. Yep, so that's the thing about it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, just looking at some of the comments over here and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down pretty soon. Yeah, this one over here, I wasn't expecting this to be a banger, but I was talking about some stuff here. And see, the things that we were talking about is very, very important. Let's see here. Gene says, I'm black and I know we selling everything for money. He's right. I don't think I ever seen Gene in this channel before, but Gene, you're absolutely right. Gene Jacques, French name, but you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And like what Gene said, the racist is black people. And I know that because black racism still exists. Black folks hold each other down from class system, caste system. It's going to keep it real. I've been victims of it, of my own people. And some of you have as well, too. This is going here to keep it 100. Yep, exactly. This is exactly what's been going on. All these years, I mean, look at it. You know what the number one killer in the black community before I go is? The number one killer in the black community is abortion. Black women abort their children by the millions. This is one of the main reasons why our population growth always stay around 13%, last I checked. It never goes over that. They got a Planned Parenthood in every community, right? I'm talking about low income communities. And we already know the mother of it all was Margaret Zinger. Margaret Zinger was a racist and she hated black folks, right? So did Bill Gates Sr. Because they were on this program called eugenics. Exactly what it was. And they said the blacks are a weed that we must exterminate. That's just quote her words. This is exactly what it is, right? Let me see here. We have here, I'm new here. Okay, we got Mildred in the house here. Welcome to the chat, Mildred. I always love new people that show me. Mama D Kitchen says, oh, I see you're one of those. I'll leave. See, the thing with Mama D is on what they call, black code. Black code, and let me explain it like I did earlier, is that you're not allowed to criticize your own. Mama D knows that none of these people that you see here have helped black folk. Because if they did, you wouldn't be living in the damn ghetto. You know damn well you wouldn't be living in the hood. Right? These issues should have been addressed. Family, right? What else? We're talking about crime, and we're talking about economic systems. These are the things that they never address. They want to make you a victim, right? Keep you in a low income while they also profit. Look at them. They're living good. Ain't none of them missing no meals, especially Roland Martin. None of them missing no meals. They're living in $1 million homes. Mama D is sad that she ran out of this room. You know what I'm saying? Mildred said, you're so right. Exactly, though. You're right. I mean, yeah, we all are right because we all know this, though, Mildred. You know, I'm going to give you a shout out to, I always do this for the ladies. You and B. Jones, y'all get the little mystical thing there all for the ladies. This is what this is about. This is not about me hating on our black people. Shoot, I grew up in the hood too. I know how it go. Grew up around crime, violence, drugs, right? Gun shooting. Not one of these people that you see here, and many of them, others, you know what I'm saying? They never cared about our problem, our situation. And unfortunately, our parents got duped into this type of stuff too. We have been dysfunctional for a long time. And it's time that things change, where you are accountable for your own actions. You can get out here and get it. Whether you're a male or a female, you got the up here. You know, it's going to be a little challenging at first, but consistency wins the race. You just can't start something and stop. You got to keep doing it. Keep on going. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And that's what it is, right? So other than that, yeah. So we have to keep in mind of that. Let me see. Tiffany said, you should be ashamed of yourself for being against. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. Let me go in and read it. See what Tiffany said? She said, you should be ashamed of yourself for being against black people. My mother is white and my father is black. I'm pro-black. You know you're not. You biracial. You're not pro-black. You're not even black. You biracial. You are half black and half white, Tiffany. Let's get that out the way first. We got to start addressing what they call a mulatto, right? Biracial, right? That's what you are. You're half black, half white. By your own admission, you said that your mother is white. When have I ever attacked white people? I said white liberals. That's what I said. I know what I said. And it wasn't not one thing here that was hatred. The problem is people like Tiffany, right, that get triggered because when we over here calling these people that she may worship these people. I don't see why, because they ain't giving nothing in the black community. But she wanted to sit up here and say, I should be ashamed of myself. Just like I told you before, she is what we call a person that is on code. Don't think I don't know this, Tiffany. I may be a lot older than you, what it sound like. You don't think I know that you on code? See, she calling me a code breaker, right? She don't think that I know this. That's the thing about it, boy, I tell you. It don't matter who you vote for. The problem is that it is the people you select and elect. It's an issue. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it is. And the Tiffany, which totally missed the whole situation, she got triggered in her girl or her emotional female. She got triggered. Now, it's funny that Mildred is a black woman and she didn't get triggered. B. Jones is a black woman and she didn't get triggered. So, Tiffany, you mean to tell me that why did you get triggered? Oh, because I'm calling out your heroes? These are not heroes, madam. These are what we call sellouts. These are race hustlers. These are the ones that we even have a ghetto today. You want to sit up here and ignore this? That's why I say, though, man, like I said, where's my thing at, boy? Because like I said, in the boxing thing, it's already a wrap, man. I mean, over here knocking them out anyway. You know what I'm saying? They hit the canvas, man. I'm going to go and shut this down, though. But other than that, though, and I appreciate you guys, though, too. You know, coming in here, liking the channel and stuff, you know.
Thank you for the likes.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And then this is the problem, man. This is the problem. It said, Mildred says, and you're so right, because I just spoke on this yesterday. We put every black person in a position. Where are they now? That's the problem. We shouldn't be putting these people in position if they can't deliver. Tiffany. Even Mildred get in this. She's a black female. What are you talking about? See, your narrative is study being destroyed. I know a lot of black women, and I can bring them on the channel if I want to. Do we really want to ride this train? Do you really want to do this? Because right now you're making yourself look really foolish, right? The black sisterhood is not working for you right now. It really isn't. You don't think I don't know these things? Black sisterhood is falling. It's like what she said. What did Mildred said? And I say it again. She won't address what Mildred said, right? And what Mildred said is Jesse Jackson classified us as black Americans, yet and still classify himself as a Cherokee Indian. This is another issue. My family is Cherokee. We don't know anything. My grandmother told me. You know what I'm saying, to back up what Mildred was saying, right? But Jesse's right. Jesse Jackson changed the classification. I'm black and I'm proud and all this other kind of nonsense. Black is not a race. It's the absence of color. It has not associated with no type of country. Even Africans don't walk around here and call themselves Africans. They call themselves Cameroon, whatever, from Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Congo. They are from the country of who they are. Ghananese from Ghana, right? Niger from Nigeria. Nobody's sitting around here talking about I'm just African without having the actual country where you're from, where your family, right? Where your background, where you come from. Black is nothing. That's why we don't get reparations now. Jesse Jackson did that purposely to take you off. Well, many of us are native anyway. Go into your family history. Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, right? Seminole, Creek. Come on now, right? But that's the thing about it, boy, you know. And see, with Tiffany, because what Tiffany is doing, she's saying because he likes Trump's policy. And she forgets about everything else. This ain't even about Trump. And you trying to deflect. We're not going to deflect. You're going to stay on what we're talking about here. Who are the fraudsters? You're not allowed to change the goalposts. I'm not going to allow you to do it. I am the man on my channel. You either going to adhere to what I'm saying or you can leave. Plain and simple. We ain't got to keep going back and forth about other situations up in here. You know what I'm saying? It's people like you, Tiffany, because you are a coward. You are a black female and a coward because you're going to mean to tell me that you're going to allow these fraudsters to keep ripping off the black community, robbing from the black community, selling hope, right? When we don't need hope, we need tangibles. And for you doing this, you are the sellout. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be demanding better, but you are a coward, just like many of them. 92% are cowards, right? You are the coward. You don't think I know about the 92%? I talked about it. It's you that are a coward. It's you that hold these people up. It's you that constantly keep voting for something and not getting back from it. It is you. It is you. It is you. You are the problem. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should even be allowed to even come in here talking this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? This is the problem. It's people like her. And if I got to be your father to get in your ass tonight, I sure am. That's the problem. Nobody had a chance to really get in your ass. And I'm going to keep being disrespectful to you because you've been disrespectful to me. You've been disrespectful coming on my channel. Instead of dealing with the topics of what we're talking about here, you got to get in your big black girl feelings and try to call me out, trying to say that I'm the problem when it's people like you are the problem. Do you realize that abortion weighs high in the black community? Over millions and millions plus are aborting their children. That's the #1 black killer. You ain't even addressing that, right? Especially with the 72% of black women that are single with children, no father, which means that they're going to be growing up disadvantaged, to have to deal with violence and gang activity, let alone other issues too. You still want to go ahead and give that a pass. You the sellout. It's people. I'm glad that I called you. I'm glad you came in here because I'm going to use you as my poster child, poster board child. You my poster child, Tiffany. Because it's ignorant black women like you that are cowards, that won't stand up to what is going on here today. You are the problem. I wouldn't be surprised if you are a single mama. You sound like one and you act like one. The typical stereotype instead of what we're dealing with over here. And somebody got to get in your ass. It may be me, right? I don't have a dog in that fight with you, but you are going to get this truth, right? That's exactly what it is. I'm not going to kowtow and bow down like a lot of these other brothers do. I'm not that dude, right? So don't get up here acting like you know me. You don't know me. You don't know me at all. What you know is that I have a podcast show, but I get in your ass on logic and facts, right? Common sense, as well as critical thinking. All you want to do is give these people a pass when these people been a problem the whole time. That's exactly what it is. Even the sister over here, Mildred, saying that I'm right and you're wrong. The sisterhood don't work for you over here. I told you that before, right? The biggest problem right now in our community is these people right here that have set up here and put up lies. That's what they have done. Lies. And you trying to change this thing and trying to move the goalposts around. You're not going to do it. You're going to stay on what I'm talking about, right? That's what you're going to do. And this is another problem, ladies and gentlemen. They're not used to dealing with real men. They're used to dealing with these black pushover men, pushover types. I'm not one of them dudes. I'm not like that. You're not going to push me over. You're going to deal with these facts. That's what you're going to deal with. And you're going to learn to love it, right? That's exactly what it is. Look at him in this room. Preach, brother, preach. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here speaking for the brothers that can't speak, right? And the sisters that can't speak, right? You ain't going to push black code in here. That don't work. Brother, a lot of brothers and sisters and others that follow me. You know what I'm saying? But if Tiffany was really had any type of sense, hey, Tiffany, why don't you get your own channel? I mean, you know, you over here on mine, you know, you over here big up in these people here. Huh. She's over here big up in these people. It's not surprising. I was waiting on someone here come in here. I was waiting, and now here it is. This is exactly what it is, though. So let me go ahead and get off of her because she's on black code. And I explained to you guys that don't know. Most black people know what black code is. And explain to the whites and other, it is a stupid ideology, right? It's an idea. What they try to do is that they want to keep blacks from talking about certain things. Like, remember what she just said. How can you talk against your own brothers and sisters? This has been a problem for a very long time because when you don't talk about the problem, it starts building up until the point. And look what happened now. Black folks should have checked this a long time ago. If I would have been in the early 60s, man, we would have gave up a group and would have came down on them then. We shouldn't even allow Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and them. They were old enough back then. They were younger, a lot younger. But we shouldn't allow them, right, to do this, right? And they did it. And that's what we're going to deal with. We're criticizing. We're coming after these big heads, boule, bourgeoisie. You don't think we know? The talented 10th, the divine 9, that Sigma Pi Phi, they sit on the top. These are your gatekeepers, your bootlickers, right? These, your training grounds and breeding grounds are the HBCUs. That's where you'll find them. This is a certain group of people. Howard, Spelman, Morehouse, we can keep naming them. It's their breeding grounds. So Tiffany possibly could be an agent. We don't know. These people obviously are agents. Whoopi Goldberg is an agent. You know what I'm saying? We can go down the list. These are agents. And we know why, because we can look at their track record. Their track record does not produce what they're claiming, that they love black people so much. They want to say it's racism. No, they are the modern day Klansmen. Because if I pull the sheet off, I'm going to find one of them that looks like what it is underneath that sheet. And this is what Tiffany is, no match for me. That's obvious. Because I've been hitting you with logic and facts all day long. If they weren't these people that you trying to say that they aren't, we should have something better in our community. Even LeBron James, any of them. Michael Jordan, you can name them. You can name them. That's why I don't worship any celebrity. Because the chances of them being an agent is deeply, greatly true. It's a big possibility that these people are agents. And when you are an agent, you're going to do the opposite of, instead of helping black folks, you're going to do the opposite and hurting black folks. That's what makes these people an agent. Agent of chaos is what they are. They offer no solutions whatsoever, but victimhood, right? That's what they do. And when you go off the narrative of going along to get along and being a victim, Shame, blame, and the need to be right. That's exactly what it is. Shame and blame and the need to be right. That's why people like Tiffany come in this room. What's she doing? Shaming, blaming, and the need to be right. That's all she cares about. She wanted to point the finger at me when we all are pointing the fingers back at her. To hold this stuff up, look at them, how pitiful they look over here. These people are pitiful, you know? Pitiful, rolled over on their own people. For the goal. Sold they soul for the goal. Here we go right here. They get airtime. They get money, speaking events, all type of stuff. Why Tiffany over here broke is a joke. You know what I'm saying? And why these people over here is a prominence. Make it make sense, Tiffany. And people that align with her, make it make sense. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going, it's an hour and 30 minutes exactly. And I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the things. Yeah, we right on target. I appreciate that as well. Mildred, I appreciate you as well coming in here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Right? This, let me see here. Hamtron said, let me see, I'm trying to pronounce your name right. Hamtora says, 404 says, so what is the strategy? What are your solutions? That's a very good question, though, and I'm going to answer it. The solution is that we have to learn to be accountable and responsible. That is the problem in the so-called Black community. Teaching accountability and being responsible. Saying that I take 100% responsibility of my own actions. Stop using victimhood as a crutch. And believe that I can go out here and I can do well. I can compete with the rest of them. That's what Frederick Douglass understood, Booker T. Washington. We can go down the list. These people did not, and they had to deal with slavery and all this other stuff. They did not use the victimhood, right? These people that I have named are the fabric in our society, not just in the Black community, but American culture too. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly what has to be. That's the first thing right there, right? Is giving up that stuff and staying away from negative people as well too. Stop listening to all these so-called Black, so-called leaders, because you will find we don't have nothing tangible, you know? That's the thing about it though. So education, I still believe in that. Family is very important. We know right from wrong now. Come on now. We know what dysfunctional behavior is, right? But it starts in the home first. But I know for many of us now, hey, you know, we may not have a family structure, but we got to start somewhere. And let's just master accountability and responsibility first and give up big victimhood. You will see when you start to give that stuff up, you'll start seeing a change in your life right there. The people that hold you back are the people that I'm showing down below. These are the people right here, right? This white supremacy stuff that you and many people are talking about, it really doesn't exist. This is why when they found out who was really behind it, it was the Southern Poverty Law Center. This is an agency that was or organization that was designed to pay or create these Aryan and Ku Klux Klan. I'm talking about from 1971 all the way up to today. They were paying these people to go out here and terrorize. And when you start looking at the SPLC, it was linked to the Democrats. It was linked to the DNC. Facts, right? This is what it is, right? So therefore, if it's been manufactured, white supremacy, it was manufactured. That's the thing about it. We have hate laws here in America, right? Not just for Blacks, for anyone else. Federal laws, right? But if they're being constantly stoking the fire, let's go ahead and pull up the hate map. Hold on for a minute. I can do you better, show you better than that. Hold on for a minute. I think I do have it. Oops, I got to scroll down a little bit. Got a lot of people in the chat. Forgot about that. All right, so it's not as accessible. Hold on for a minute. Let me go ahead and pull that up. And I got to get out of here for real. Here it is right here. Let me go and pull this down for a minute. And things, wait a moment. Right, this is it right here. Let's go on. Okay, nope, that's not it. Let me see here. Hold on for one moment. Oh, yeah, there it is right here. So we pull this up right here. Let me go ahead and pull this off, and then we'll pull this up. Here it is right here. The Justice Department announced indictments against the Southern Poverty Law Center. Says here what they've been paying them. The National Alliance, let me get my glasses on here. Yeah, the National Alliance affiliate, right, paid $1 million plus. The Aryan Nation affiliate paid $300,000. The Unite to the Right member, and these are racist organizations that the left paid for. This is talking about the DNC. They paid these people to keep the stoke of white supremacy and all this other stuff going on. I don't call it white supremacy. These are just racist people. Because when you start using that term, you're saying that whites are better than you, right? Former National Alliance chairman, they were paid $270,000, paid $140,000. And then the former Ku Klux Klan, they were paid $73,000. American Front president and felon, they were paid $19,000. Here it is right here. I took a screenshot of this. This is it right here. This is the group when they were doing, indictments and so forth like that. They did an indictment and they found out that they were linked to the DNC, which is the Democratic Party. We've been saying it for a long time, calling the Dem KKK. And here's the proof of it right here. It says members of white supremacist, right, and extremist groups included. This is who they were. It said here the SPLC secretly paid these people. There it is right there. Right there. Exactly what it is. Let me see here. Ham says that sounds good for you, but nobody want to be, no, hold on, wait, let me see here. But, nobody want to be a boot worker. I mean, if you want to be a boot licker, then go right ahead and live in reality. Now, here she go right here. This is another one, just like I had to get Tiffany together. She's on, Ham, I'm just going to call her Ham. Ham is on black code once again. This is what we dealt with all our life. She is condoning, right, the modern day sellouts like your Al Sharpton and the rest of them. She's condoning this. Black code say do not criticize your own. Don't talk about it, especially in public, because this is what they got. It says sisters like her and brothers too, that have been brainwashed. She cannot give you any type of tangibles coming from these groups that she support. I'm talking about these people, right? Call it out. I've been called much worse than a bootlicker, but you don't understand what seems to be going on. You think I don't get triggered on that at all. I've been called much worse. I got a show, and a very good one, right? What do you have? What do you have? Because it takes a certain type of bravery, strength to endure comments and conversations and so forth. And the thing about it is that I'm calling it out. You too afraid to call it out because you are on black code. Now, I educated whites and others what that means. And she is what we call on code. You don't think I know this though, Ham? Just like with Tiffany. You see, that's what she says. She's not listening. She's just trying to, we're not even having a conversation. She makes statements, won't address what I say. I'm looking at what she's saying. One of the comments I have addressed, but she won't address the rest of them because she knows she doesn't have a good defense against it. This is what we call moving the goalposts. Look at the people here agreeing with me. You're moving the goal. You're trying to move the goalposts, and I will not let you. And then you're trying to sit up here and educate me by using Google on what white supremacy is. You have already lost, right here now, Ham, when you assume or you think that whites are greater than you, you call it already you lost. You over here saying white supremacy, which means that whites are superior over you. This is your problem your whole life. They taught you wrong. This is why you will never get out of the community, out of the whatever you are. You're going to always be a victim. Man, what's going on with you, man? Appreciate you. Appreciate you well as admin. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much for coming on here. You know, just addressing some of the comments here and things. But we were talking about, you already know, the race hustlers. And the other lady that was in here earlier, Tiffany, and then we got Ham in here. So therefore, they are what we call on Morpheus 1 is another one. And there's a few others that was in here. They're on black code, right? We already talked about it. But black code, right? Exactly what it is. And we're not going to allow you to move the goalposts. That was my rules in this channel. We're going to talk about the topics right here. We already talked about the SPLC. We have talked about other things, right? Such as your black bootlickers and your black sellouts and your black coons and your buffoons. That's who we were talking about. And we put them on high blast, right? That's what we have done. That's exactly what we have done, right? Right? Look at this, man. It's just really sad. This is a grown black woman right here. I'm about to go and shut this down, man, because I got to get to work. But like I said, you're not going to get anywhere with people because she's too old. I can already tell. She may be Generation X is what I would guess. And the problem with Generation Xers is that a lot of them have been brainwashed a long time. You know, they believe that they are a victim. They don't believe they cannot be, do, and have in America. They use race as an excuse, knowing damn well she got a car. I'm sure she may be a homeowner or live in an apartment, whatever the case may be. Nobody's holding her back. It blows her whole narrative out of the water, right? And they don't like that. They like to sit back here and be a victim for just no reason at all. This is just an illusion, right? That's why they can't even get by Jesse Lee Peterson. They can't even get by Jesse Lee. Jesse Lee Peterson just be having fun with him. They can't even get by him. It's just sad. So other than that, though, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, we talk about this, but this is what we're dealing with here. I'm going to show you guys right here. This is the mentality coming from the left, where you have ignorance, narcissism, Marxism, selfishness, greed, and theft. See the donkey in the middle? This is a jackass party right here, right? These people, this is what this on the left. And the people, the black so-called bourgeoisie I showed up here earlier, a lot of them fit this, they fit this narrative, absolutely. This is their mentality right here. This is them. Let me pull back up the race hustlers, but I wanted to pull that up just to show you guys right quick. This is the mindset coming from the left. If they got all this going on right here, I appreciate it, Ruby. I explained everything. Thank you. Perfect. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really do. When they got all this stuff going on right here, look at this. Ignorance, narcissism, Marxism, selfishness, greed, and theft. This is what's going on in Ham's brain right now. She can't even stay focused on one topic that we're talking about. This is really low what we call low IQ type stuff. It really is. Right? Exactly what it is. DMs are trash. They support terrorism. I appreciate you, not you again too, coming back on here. I appreciate you as well, man. And things. Remember him coming before. Ruby too as well. Appreciate you guys. We got Tony in here, 100. So I want to ask Ham again. If I'm supposed to be so wrong, why are the other people agreeing with me and not you? If I got it wrong, Help me educate why I got it wrong, Ham. That's what I would like for you to know. I mean, I want you to do. Could you please educate me and the people here in the group before I go? Can you please educate us? Instead of making statements, I really would like to have a real conversation instead of just you throwing out stuff and not, you haven't addressed anything that I said. That's another thing, you know. Ruby says, thank you for your channel. We love you. I appreciate you so much, man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you. Not you again, too, said foreign and domestic terrorism. DM support both. Yeah, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Well said. Yeah. Yeah, T2 says, God bless Donald J. Trump and Elon Musk. You got that right, too. The reason why Donald is so popular amongst people, because for the most part, he ain't perfect, but at least he has tangible policies. His policies are tangible for the most part of it. There's a lot. I went over this the other day with his policies, right? He has things, right? Because I'm about to really go. Is that you got never Trumpers like Tiffany, right? And that's okay. That's all right. But the thing about it is, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing about it. Most importantly, right? We got a real leadership in the White House that is doing the things, not just for America, also for black folks. It's got to give it time. But when you got this going on with ignorance, narcissism, Marxism, selfishness, greed, and theft, it's going to be very, very difficult to see something different. People like Ham is totally delusional. She has drank the Kool-Aid to the point that she gotten drunk off of drinking something and not getting nothing in return. This is why Ham cannot defend the ghetto. She think that the ghetto is because of racism. No, the ghetto is because of black Klansmen like Al Sharpton and late great Jesse Jackson and a lot of other ones going down the list. This is the reason why we have a ghetto today, right? They want to keep it this way, purposely this way, race baiting this way, right? Yeah, that's the thing about it though. So yeah, so what I do is I'm doing my job, and like I said, I do it without fear. See, Ham is like Tiffany. Ham is also on black code. It's obvious. She has not addressed the family issue. There's a 72% of black females that are single with children and no father in the home. She won't address this, which creates crime and violence and drugs. She won't address it. She won't. What about the other wealth disparities, right? That are coming from these people that you see that appear all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? That's exactly what it is. They want to talk about slavery. The modern day slaves, right? And the modern day slave masters, and people are going to put them back up here. Hold on for a minute. It's just a little bit better when I do this here. Let me go ahead and put them back up here. The black grifters, here we are. Here it is right here. This is the problem. We got the black grifters that I'm showing right now. These people are the problem. Look at them. They're the problem. We got others, right? We got others. The other ones you saw me put up earlier. This is what it is. This is the problem that we have been dealing with in our own communities. The grift is over. The black grift is over. No longer are they going to be able to grift off of black folks. If you're going to have policies in those southern areas, as a politician, you better have a policy, because whites ain't going to put up with it. They're not going to just continuously vote for them and not get nothing back. No other group would do it. And that's what they're mad about, right? This is what we're dealing with here. The black grift, boy. I tell you, we're going to move that out the way. Let me see here. Oh, let me pull up another one here. I thought I had the other one. That's the clowns. Okay. Well, at any event, ladies and gentlemen, so yeah, I got to go head on and get to work, make that money, you know what I'm saying? But it's obvious that some of the people that come in this room, they are what we call, they would never change, man. And I know she's an older person too. That's in my, I can already tell she's definitely or probably in my generation, man, which is Generation X. These Generation Xers is just some of them, man. They have drank the Kool-Aid too far, too gone, too long and too gone. And this ain't my job to convince never Trumpers. This is not a never Trumper convincing channel. They find a way in here, but this is not my target people. People like Tiffany and others and Ruby and other people that want to get the questions answered as to why things are not becoming better. The younger generation, you probably may be a millennial, you know? So for the millennials and things, this is the reason as to why. You guys are already on it. This is why you guys don't follow these so-called black leaders in the first place, because they don't offer anything of substance. You're already growing up in poverty anyway. They're offering nothing. Just coming in here, running their mouth, getting triggered, getting upset. They won't address the issues of what we're talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? This is the problem. Not that one. Hold on for a minute. Yeah, this is the problem. Right? Y'all remember this woman here? This is another to my point. Remember her here? Tazaki, was that Tazan, Nikia, right? Oh my goodness. Oh boy, give me a break. Another Black Lives Matter, right? And anti-police attorney in New York and New Orleans. New Orleans has been indicted for wire fraud, stealing over $250,000. Here she is right here. She spent the money on lavish vacations, hair, and everything. Does this sound like these people care about us? Where that money could have actually gone in the community. What do you have to say about that, Ham? I can pull up other things too. See, she doesn't have an answer. You notice she's going to change. When she ever posts again, she's going to bring up something else. Never a peep. You're so right. Yeah, she don't have an answer for this though, Mildred. This is why we're saying here, could it be that they are the problem? They're in a position I am not. How can I be a bootlicker? I'm not even in office. I'm not a politician. I never come out here promising anything. These people are. This is the second person in charge. Patrice Cullors and all the rest of them that's behind BLM. Look at her. Look what they have done. Embezzlement. This is fraud. This is stuff. Oh my goodness. This is another problem right here. Yeah, it's very disappointing. This is the problem right here. And just like, what's her name? April, I can't think of her last name. She's a black conservative as well. She even said it, that this is coming from a black woman. Try to quote what she said. She said that black women, black liberal Democrat women are looking very horrible now. They have a bad reputation. Because you're seeing this. Same thing with Tiffany Hayard. She was the super mayor, black woman super mayor out of Dalton, Illinois. What was she charged for? Embezzlement as well. What about Stacey Abrams, right? What about Big Mama Letitia James and Fonnie Willis? Or in this case, Big Mama Letitia James, right? She did mortgage fraud, right? She know that she wasn't supposed to buy that house in Virginia while living in New York. She did it anyway. But you know why? Because she never thought she was going to get caught. And we got a list of these people that are out of order. The black women right now in politics are looking so bad now. You're supposed to be representing the community, not enriching yourself. But you prove my point. Because when you do this, you know you are out for the bag for yourself. You don't give a damn about black people. You know what? You know what they always say? Here's the thing, what they say. There's no money or profit in black liberation. You know why? Because as long as they can keep their foot on black folks' neck, which is black on black, this is a black on black crime. Not a black on white crime. It's a black on black crime. And you're right, Ruby. Shame on them for doing this to their own people. This is why we always say all skin folk are not kinfolk. They don't give a damn about us. We think LeBron James, all the rest of them. They don't give a damn. They already got the bag. They don't give a damn about us. So yeah, so I wanted to say that before I go. I'm on my way out now to my close though, man. But I really appreciate you guys for coming on. I'm going to go ahead and move this out the way. But I appreciate you guys for showing up and showing out to Some Random Guy Speaks. I'm your host again, Tony Love. But yeah, we had to address some things in regards to what's going on. These are the reasons why blacks haven't come to prominence, because of issues like this and many other issues as well too that we address. Because these are the people that's putting out these claims that they love black folks so much, but we don't have anything in return. But when I pulled up how much they were making a lot of money, living beautiful homes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful homes, man. You know what I'm saying? $1 million homes. There's no, if racism was this thing, they wouldn't be in their own home, in these $1 million homes. They'll be right in the black community along with us. And that's fact. So your narrative have been destroyed, right? And as I said, you notice when they come in here, let me see here. Hey, any of my mods on right now, I want y'all to get, Poseidon out of here. Go ahead and boot Poseidon 226 right on out of the chat. Because one thing we don't tolerate is name calling, though. Not going to do that. If you want to debate me, Poseidon, on this issue right here, there's a way to do it instead of coming here and being disruptive. Because I can't help it because you done got triggered in your own feelings, right? But I appreciate you, Brian Reedy. I do. I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you. Black Guy 9, I appreciate you. Yeah, go ahead and try and get that trash right up on out of here. Man, good night to you as well, man. Thank you. And thanks, Mildred. Thank you. I'll see you next time. I appreciate it. Got a little special thing for the ladies. Ruby too. Ruby as well. Not Ruby Tuesday, but Ruby. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, though. I appreciate it, though, you know. Let's see here. Johnny says, the Democrat Party haven't done anything, right? Anything for no American citizens. And this isn't on any racist hate or race hating. Well, you bring up a good point, Johnny Gonzalez. They haven't did anything for, I always say that. It ain't just a black issue. But the reason why I'm bringing this more to home in our so-called black community, because this is black hatred on black folk. This is a black on black crime here. This ain't no black and white crime. It's a black on black crime, right? We're talking about the Black Klansmen, like the movie. But when you find out the Black Klansmen are them, they the ones, right? They the ones that said there's no profit in, I appreciate you subscribing as well to me. Give you a special shout out. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. Let me give you that is T2 3790. You deserve the whole. There we go. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. So let me get up on out of here. You guys been great though, man. I really appreciate it. Till next time though, you know, we'll come up with some other stuff though, you know. But as I say, always, always, always love each other, respect each other, you know, and let's get along with each other, right? Once again, that's something that came up off the fly. Brian Reedy says, thank you for joining and supporting. And he is absolutely right. And I thank you guys as well for joining and supporting, you know. And I appreciate the likes as well. Appreciate you all. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And we'll see you all tomorrow and things. I don't know what the next topic is going to be, but we'll address some things and things. So all I say is keep an open mind, right? This is about policies. These are things that are working in America, you know, and this is not designed for never Trumpers or TDS and things like that. We're not dealing with that stuff. I'm only dealing with people that keep an open mind, right? If you question, that's okay. But the people coming here, they're not questioning for understanding. They're trying to get a gotcha moment, and it doesn't work here. I have many of them that have misinformation. What they don't realize, I have what they call Right Pen, which is an AI tool that I use regularly, right? So I can sniff out if it's spin news or if it's some type of rhetoric or some type of bias, leftist type of stuff. I can sniff it out right away, right? So therefore, I do have that, and I let them know it come from Right Pen, right? So other than that, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace and chicken grease. Your boy is out. I got to play the Star Spangled Banner. Every time I always do the Star Spangled Banner. So I'm going to put the Star Spangled Banner up. Before I do, let me do one more thing. I got to host my sponsor, right? Oh, my goodness. Let me go ahead and put my sponsor up. Give me one moment. I got to put my sponsor up, ladies and gentlemen. Right, hold on for a minute. And then I got to move this other one here. All right, get rid of the black grift. And then we're going to put my sponsor up here. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and play my sponsor. All right. Mr. Ralph. So, the social media posts done daily. YouTube, Instagram, X, grow followers. You want to get in contact with Mr. Ralph. Mr. Ralph will help you a one-on-one consultation for free. And he will ask you questions to help you grow followers. If it's shorts that you need, or you just need a script, or just some advice, tutelage, please get in contact with Mr. Ralph. This is what I use, who I use, and help me grow my viewers. So do not delay. Get in contact with Mr. Ralph. His email address is listed here. So this is something that you need if you are interested in becoming a content creator. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, do not delay. Think of Mr. Ralph for all of your content creation needs. All right, so there you have it. So if you are a struggling content creator and you need someone to give you some help, get in contact with Mr. Ralph with his email listed below. So this is something that I would recommend and things. So please be sure to do that. And let me see here. What we're going to do is going to play the Star Spangled Banner, and I am out. Let me go ahead and get that up. I think I got it queued up here, but yeah, we go ahead and get that going. But I appreciate you all, for being part of Some Random Guy. Once again, I'm Tony Love and things, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Not next time, but tomorrow. But yeah, so let's go ahead and do that here. We're going to put that up and things. Where is my thing here? Yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace and chicken grease. I am out. Oops.
Ladies.
All right. Thought I had it queued up here. Guess I did not. Okay. Hold on for a minute. I got to take it from the top. Have a good one.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes